Hello, my name is Pedro Diaz. Before we get into the speech, I want to warn that there are signs of suicide and depression in this film, and that depression, regret, and trauma can affect everyone and in all sorts of ways. We're going to talk about Shoya's view on himself, Shoko's view on herself, and changing for the better. The film is called A Silent Voice. Shoyo, during his youth, was very class clown, the center of attention, and he wanted to make everyone laugh in any sort of way, including being a bully sometimes. So, when Shoko appears during elementary, she is kind of outcasted, was not favored by anyone because she was deaf. Sorry, deaf. Now, Shoya is the biggest bully of all of them. He starts writing bad things on the chalkboard. He dumps water on her head from a hose and finds a way to lose all of Shoko's hearing aids when he finds out that she has hearing aids. He is verbally and physically abusive towards her, which leads to Shoya getting bullied when Shoko transfers schools. So everything he did happened to him. Shoya in high school thinks that everyone hates him. He's very suicidal. He can't look people in the eyes and pushed everyone away. He also ripped off most of April from his calendar, sold and quit his job, and gave all the money to his mother because she had to give so much money to pay for Shoko's hearing aids. When when giving amends to the people, he went to see Shoko, but when seeing and talking, he didn't want to jump, which in the beginning of the movie, he wanted to jump off a bridge. And he also promised his mother that he wouldn't go through it as well. But he still has guilt and depression. Now, there's something called the guilt complex. And it's a cycle of self blame, shame, and anxiety. This cycle shows up with crying, insomnia, muscle tension, and headaches. For him, it was not being able to look people in the eyes. He socially isolates himself and having difficult time forming and maintaining relationships. He never wanted to make another relationship because he thought he was a burden to everyone. And this is from an article from calm.com. It not really sure who it's by. I apologize for that. But by the end of the film, he is the one who saves Shoko and starts looking people in the eyes and cries because of how beautiful everything is around him that he was trying to trap himself from. Now that you know how Shoya was and acted, let's get to know Shoko. Now, Shoko, during her youth, she was very kind and polite. She didn't understand a lot of cues because she was hard of hearing. So people had to pass a notebook that she would bring and just write down which pages, and to them it started getting annoying. Um so an article from a deaf child worldwide called The Three Major Barriers Deaf People face in the community. It says that for social attitudes, there's negative, there's stereotypes and prejudice that are harmful for deaf people. And this goes by cultural and everything. Now, Shoko, she was very kind, and even when she was getting bullied, she would say thank you or I'm sorry. But they would just get more angry because they wouldn't know why she was upset or not. So when it was close to Shoko leaving and transferring, Shoya saw Shoko cleaning his desk. And it was a bunch of bad things that was on his desk. And she was just cleaning it off because he started being bullied instead of him being the bully. But instead of saying thank you, he got angry at her and attacked. And he started saying what um Shoya wanted him to say, which was anything. So kind of inaudible, she starts saying that she hates him and that she just wants to go. So that is something that is very big in Shoko's youth that later on affected her high school life because during high school she was very depressed. She knew she had hearing aids, she knew she was different, and that stood out to the class. She hated herself so much that she was also suicidal, but for other reasons. And by the end of the movie, she kind of she caves in. She wants to go through with it, but Shoko doesn't want to let go. It's literally on a balcony, him trying to save her. And by saving her, he falls into the water and all you see is blood. Then he's in a coma and she's crying and now she's the one making amends with everyone, trying to get everyone together and hopefully seeing that it felt like it was all her fault and apologizing for it and wanting to bring them together. So, in many ways, both have changed physically, but mentally, which leads to our third and last point, which is how they changed for the best. For Shoya, it was him looking people in the eyes, not looking down anymore, not really feeling that guilt and depression that he held in for so long. That's why in the final moments, he's crying because he sees that not everyone is talking bad about him anymore. He sees that he has people around him that support him and that really like him for who he is as a person. He is kind. He is nice now. He is supportive. He asks questions because he doesn't know how to feel. He doesn't really know connection anymore. With Shoko, she's changed because she has a group as well, but also someone next to her that understands and has forgiven each other for what they've done in the past. Now, it is very hard to change. And you see it throughout the film. You see him having a breakdown before actually looking up at people. You see Shoko holding his hand so he doesn't bump into people. And that's very, very interesting when compared to the beginning where he was the bully and now he's shy and frantic. And I think that is absolutely beautiful. Now, in the end of the story, there is not much regret, but both of them have the trauma, Shoya and Shoko. You could see Shoya's regret in each scene and how it disappeared, and Shoko's trauma and how it lessened, it was relieved. Each scene made so carefully and captured all the emotions. Now, what I mentioned, Shoya, Shoya's view on himself, how he perceived himself from youth to the end of the movie, as well as Shoko's view on herself from the end and the start, and how they both changed for the best. So in the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take. So take that leap of faith and see what happens. As I like to say, fuck it. Take that leap of faith.